Hey, how are you? So on the thing you wrote to anxious. Oh, okay. You said what were your words? Let's see. Okay, to clear up clarity. Okay, I gotcha. So clarity was the operative word there. And I see that you chose, protection. And okay, I gotcha. So what's going on? What's the problem? Okay. Okay. So, okay. So the problem that I'm seeing is let's go back. So my understanding is you want clarity on, the relationship, right? And you're saying he's stepping back and claiming confusion out of nowhere. Okay, gotcha. So the problem that I'm finding, the root of the problem is that the I hate to get TMI, I don't get into people's stuff, and I'm very G-rated, but I am a love specialist, so it comes up. Physical connections or intimacy, I guess you could say, has stopped. Okay. So I got what you're saying. Yeah, and that's important. I will address that. I will see. But the root of what I'm seeing of what the problem is between both of you, the root of it is intimacy has stopped. So either that's him pulling back, that is the glue of a relationship. So you may be willing to be affectionate and he may have stopped. So this is a cold shoulder. It doesn't necessarily have to be delivered as cold, but it can be distant. So there is the emotional part, the way people talk, and then when it comes down to it, it's also the intimate part. So that is the root of this. Are you aware that he has stopped wanting to be physical? Okay. Okay, so that's the next step here. So when he can be quiet, but when a person starts to not have that bond in a love relationship, then not communicate as much, then not trust as much, then not communicate or reach out, then it builds and builds, right? So, okay. So that being the main part, I have to kind of look and see what is leading to that. Okay. So before we go any forward, in other words, what I'm trying to say to you is that in your mind, your opinion, your perspective, and your perception, he's troubled by something else. And I'm saying that there could be something more than that. There could be something that maybe you're not, maybe you're afraid to look at. I know you're very spiritual, but sometimes people's emotions can block, what is really there. So I'm just trying to, I'm an outside perspective, trying to see, you said he wants time to work through it, but can't tell me what the problem, yeah. So I'm here to say that the problem may be multi-layered. It can be, we're about to find out, okay? It can be an emotional reason, it can be a fear, or it can be someone else, okay? And or the beginning of someone else, or maybe the intrusion of someone bothering him, or maybe something that comes internal from him, either way, the root of it is going to be where the intimacy stops, okay? So let's continue and see what's going on here. Okay. All right. There's a problem here. Yes. So give me 1 second. 1 second here, okay? Give me 1 minute. Okay. When did you cast magical things on your own? How long ago did you, make like a spiritual magical thing, like a candle or something like a bind or a jar or, any of those things? How long ago did you do something for the relationship on your own, like to protect it or to maybe on him or something like that? Because that is a situation. Anything at all magical for your love life? How long ago has it been since you did something spiritual, magical, spiritual, for yourself, your love life, your relationship? or paid someone to do it, or do it yourself. It looks like you did it yourself. Okay, so that is a spell. Okay, so that is something that does affect a lot of things. Months ago. Okay, that's fine. So you know that there's something with that. But besides that, you know, how should I say? No, I'm talking about on your own, doing your own thing. It is at play. So this is one of the things. We have to talk about a couple of things. But one of the things is magic is showing up from something that you did, not something that you had someone do. So this is, yeah, this plays a role as well. But besides that, because things have different layers. There is the spiritual, magical, there is the relationship itself, you know, the bond and what's been going on. Then there's his internal homeostasis, yours, you know, there's a lot of things. So the big problem is I am finding infidelity, okay? So, but I'm letting you know all the layers of things. There's three big things here. The first one is, yeah. Okay. That's fine if you don't want to, if it stresses you to talk about the magical part, okay? But it is at play here. So there was something that was done magically, okay? From your hand, from your creation, that is not sitting well. But aside from all of that, there's the real life part. You know, there's like I said, things have compartments. There's the way you feel as a person internally, what's going on in your life, him, and then, you know, there's the relationship itself, so things that are kind of tampering with the relationship itself, and then there's the magical spiritual. So in the magical spiritual, it's showing up that there's something that, you know, has been, you know, kind of went rogue. There is something that, aside from all of that, the real heart of the matter in this problem, I shouldn't say real, it's all real, but there is infidelity going on. Now, I did go ahead and look and see if there is of the, like, you know, how should I say this? Like when a man has, or a woman, or usually a man has, like, we already know that he had a addiction situation with inappropriate adult content. So that is not the issue here. I did look and see if it was coming from that. And I did see if it was coming from something that was, you know, like sometimes when it's just online, or something that's like a digital peep show, or like, you know, stripping, or, you know, I did try to see if it was like something he consumed, like with, you know, where you know, he consumes the content, like whether it's paid or subscription or whatever, or I did look and see if it was like a flirtation that hasn't led to anything. The answer is no to all of that. This is actual intercourse with a female. So this is infidelity. There is a third party. Okay? He doesn't look at it like a third party. Okay? That's very important for you to understand that. It is a third party if you and him have something concrete and you're seeing each other as adults, and you spend the night and you spend time and you have a bond and you're growing together, and he's not really sealing the deal for it really is a third party. He doesn't see it as a third party because to him, he hasn't clarified or promised or made concrete what is needed to. So to him, it's not, but he knows better also. So this is an issue. There is something else as well. I told you this has different layers. The other layer of the situation is that he had an experience with you where he feels something rubbed him the wrong way with you. That's not the only reason. It's not okay that he blames it on his sadness and manipulates the situation to be like morose and wanting, attention and pity, when in fact he's running around. So that's not okay. The first time around when he pulled that card of the sad part, there was a lot of things at play. There was a lot of gossip and there was a lot of things. And he really was in a funk. But right now, this is not that. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, so we have found many things that have led to that, that have led to the situation. But ultimately, it's yeah, I would say it's some of it is just it just is snowballing. So let's see where this is going. Okay, I asked about it if it was from work, and it is not from work. So I don't know if that helps any, but it is not someone from work. So again, I don't know if he works for himself or he works somewhere else, but it is not from work. If he works for himself, it wouldn't be from work. Okay, so the source is coming from a different place, this female that is new in the picture. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna do, instead of doing a reading on the relationship, which we already looked into pretty much, I'm going to do a mind read on him. Okay, let me see what's going on with him. Okay, a very big problem going on right now is, okay, a very big problem going on right now is that he feels that you want something that he doesn't want. So that is a very big problem. And there's a coldness from him, or at least that has been addressed. The coldness or the emotional blockage that he's, exerting toward the fact of what you want is also a problem. So this is an issue. So that lets me know that there's been something, you know, where you're not on the same page, you know, as well. And again, the reading begins with magic. So again, I realize a lot of people either don't understand spiritual things, or sometimes they are shy to talk about it, or maybe they don't want to admit it, or whatever the deal is. It's fine. I don't, doesn't bother me. It's just, I'm letting you know 100%. There is also magic showing up in this situation. So this is when a person, you know, either does a spell on their own, or they do something out of timing, or they do something incorrectly, as well. It has not helped matters, but it does not cause a person to go this route either. You know, so this is layered. This is, it has led to this point. So I'm here to see what he wants, what he plans to do, and what, you know, what are the options? Where is this going within him? Taking his primary concern first, okay? So again, we have something that he's not verbalizing. There's something that he's not, he has tried to, and in some ways he's very a mouthful and very expressive, and in other times he just shuts up and he's secretive, and that's not okay. I think if you gotta just open up and just say it. So let's see. Okay. All right, there is knowledge here of him seeing you with something occult. So this is a problem, okay? This is another problem. So it seems like this reading is kind of like checking off all the things that have gone astray with the situation. So number one, you don't deserve the way he's treating you at all. I know you have a lot of patience and you love him, and that's great, but you don't deserve this type of behavior. You deserve for him to just love you and be your partner. That's what you deserve. However, I am showing here the different things. So we've got the infidelity that I'm going to look into. 100% it's with a woman. It has already started. I will look into that. Number two, there's something that went completely the wrong way, where he made an opinion or an impression. There was something that was a topic that was tender, and he decided to be harsh about it. I will stretch and say that it's either moving in or children. I'm not sure 100% on what it is, but it's something deep like that. Maybe it's a commitment or something, but there's something that's very, where he knows what you want, and his response has not been what you deserve, okay? Another thing that's showing up here is there has been something he has seen or researched on you or tried to be snoopy about, that there's a sort of a distrust on your magical self. So, for example, you know, maybe a friend said something, or maybe he saw something. Maybe it was a pack of cards, or maybe it was a joke and you were mixing something, or where the joke is fun, but then the deep inside, he's not really revealing what he really thinks, because Geminis will sit on it, you know, and they'll just, one day they feel one way and then the next day they think about it, and it's completely different emotional response than what they told you at that moment. And then you talk to them again and you're like, what? I thought we were on the same page. And he completely flips it. So that's very Gemini. Okay. So these are different things. When I look into the mind read with him, there are a list of things that are triggering his uncomfortability. Why it got this far, I don't know. Hopefully he can close that door quickly. You know, again, that's a whole other thing. It's what you're willing to, you know. All right, let me see something here. 1 second, okay? You got to realize something as well. Let me say this. Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah, that's a pretty emotionally abusive, you know? When a woman is giving a man mind, body, and soul, and love and kindness, and he does this, I'll tell you, you're very patient, very, 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 very patient and kind. He's very lucky to have a woman like you that loves him the way that you do. You know, he's very lucky, and I hope he doesn't throw that away. Okay, but anyway, let me explain. There's more digging I have to do, but I have to tell you, please understand that I am looking back. The reading that I'm doing is, you know, like I said, I'm focused on a mind read for him, and what that means, what I'm doing is, I'm going back, and I'm in the past, and I'm recent past of what's important, and I'm piecing things together to understand why he's thinking this way. So just because I bring up a topic or two or three right now, today's date, they may have been sorted out emotionally for himself, but they are important because they led to where he is right now. So that doesn't mean that this moment, his perspective is all these things. Don't get confused that way. I have to kind of see the whole stream of it, and then I will explain to you the most current. All right, the most current. But I'm bringing up pieces because I need to understand the path of what he took, of how this unfolded. Okay, so give me 1 second here. Okay, this is really confusing me, but I'm going to tell you what it is. Maybe you would know what this is, okay? Something is coming up. It's kind of like playing a riddles game. Ever played a riddles game when you're in kindergarten or elementary and everybody says the clue of what it is and the person has to like guess what it is? Okay, sometimes readings are like that, okay? There is something that's popping up in the reading with him where it's when a person uses nature badly. So, for example, and this is critical because this is pointing to the outcome and the direction and all of those things. But along the way, this is what's being mentioned. It's when someone uses nature in a bad way. So what can that be? When you're depleting, let's say there's a river near your house and you are using, river water, depleting, let's say there's hasn't been a lot of rain, you're going to hurt the ecosystem, but you want to water your garden. Or let's say a person is dumping a certain type of cleaner down the pipes and it can hurt marine life. There's something maybe in his job, maybe there's something ecological, maybe there's something environmental, maybe there's something more localized, like, you work in the medical industry, there's something with nature, there's something where a person is using something that can toxify something else. So this seems very work related. I don't know what he does, but this is important, and this can be the heart of what his other big problem is. So we will, this will have clarity, okay? But along the way, this is a riddle, and unfortunately, we have to address it because it's very important, okay? So give me a second and see where this is coming from. Okay, this is coming from his job, from his work. If he is troubled, but okay, so let me put the pieces together in case it sounds confusing. When he is troubled financially or with his job in a big way, because he's very goal oriented, it's a trigger for him. So then his love life or his his personal life and everything else seems to take the hit, because if he, and then of course I'm not saying there's a drinking problem at this time. I did check for those things, but it kind of catapults problems, so he can be a certain mood and he can have a certain pattern. So it's almost like if the work is not going well, or there's a problem. Now legal, you mentioned that there's legal work. Legal work sometimes can be embedded in work, obviously, like if a permit or waiting on a contract or waiting on something to be approved or whatever it is. Yeah, it plays a role, but it's not the root of it. So this is dealing with something that he's trying to push that is difficult. All right, so again, like I said, I don't know what he does, but this is a work problem. So without getting into too much of his work, realize that this is an issue for him. Okay, so let me see where else this is going. Okay. There's an interruption to the love line in here to let you know something personally. Are you aware that you are going to be either promoted or getting more money or getting more? Are you aware that success is coming your way with your work? There is going to be some kind of opportunity where you really blossom very soon. Okay. Are you aware of it being in the works already, or because this is something that's ahead this year for you, and you being more successful and him having money problems is also an issue. Not yet, not yet, but this is coming for you. All right, so on that I have to say congratulations. There's something very powerful. If you were to do money cleanses and money things, it would definitely be at this time to empower this even more, okay? All right, so let's see. Back to the relationship now, okay? Okay, so this is going to be an option for you, okay? This is an option. I'm not telling you to go this route. I'm telling you to think about it and assess the way that you're going to approach it. So I'm all about answers, all right? I like the truth. And I don't like that you're in a situation that he has not acted appropriately with the faithful part. I understand you don't have this anchored title. I get it, but it's obviously you should have, he should have stepped up more. So I feel that that this is an option for you. If you approach him in a way that is lighthearted and kind of like no big deal, no stress, where he feels that it's not a confrontation, you can get him to admit the infidelity. If you come across in a way, and you also have to be very opportune. If you approach the situation in a joke and lighthearted when he's laughing or when you're having a good moment, things will be admitted as long as you kind of like just kind of, it's an act. It's unfortunately you have to put on a Oscar, performance with this one. But you can get him to admit it was a fling or it was something, just saying, if there's someone else that he can tell you, he can let you know. He will admit it. You will get verbal clues, verbal expression that will let you know about that. Okay, let the cat out of the bag. All right. If you approach it in a scenario verbally, where you get him in the wrong mindset, the wrong mood, the wrong day, and you go about it very awkward or stressful, he can lock up and not admit it at all, or withdraw from you because he's afraid of confrontation and problems. So much so that instead of telling you what he feels, he decides to be quiet about it. You may talk greatly about his past or his life, or you may share stories. I don't doubt the communication between both of you. But is it to the depth of what his plans are for you, his feelings for you, what he wants to do? He does not verbalize, vocalize, open up about that part of his life with you, which he needs to. You could talk about books, philosophy, the whole 9 yards, and he can even tell you a little bit about work and a little bit about his past. But the conversation is not being stirred like when two people are on the same page and they are, you've been married, you're very intelligent with relationships, you've been engaged for many years with the Leo, and you know all of that. So I'm not telling you anything new. You're very wise with that. He's not acting like someone who is treating you as the girlfriend, the fiance, the partner, the wife. He's not doing that. And there are elements missing. And, it's important that you realize that which I'm sure you have, obviously, but what I mean is, you're also very dedicated, to being patient in areas that he's failing you. All right. So it's important for you to understand that you're going to have to be very cunning in the way that you approach it, if you want to. I mean, I feel that you should. I feel that you should never live with doubt. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. I know I've read for you for a long time. I understand. I know you believe me, but I like for you to kind of see. It helps you kind of be grounded in the moment. And I think that it's something that, but again, it's critical in how you approach it. Why do I say that? Well, because I feel that you want answers from him. I can tell you a million things, but at the end of the day, emotionally, you need him to meet you where you're at, and the only one that can do that is him. And I think that you would feel better if he gave you his own results or his own confession kind of thing. Yes, I feel you need that. So again, I'm telling you that it's critical in when and how. So I suggest it's when you and him are having a bonding, laughing like a date or something like that, where you are in good spirits. You're either enjoying a meal out or something where you are, and I do encourage you go out. Staying at home all the time, not I don't know what you do, but I think it should be something where it leads to, if you're gonna be intimate or whatever, do it after the date or do it after the meal or whatever, so when you're out, because it's going to casually kind of embed that kind of good feeling the evening's not over. And I think that would be a great place to just play the game, kind of just set the pace for. So I want to, ask you a confession, or, I want to ask you some secrets, or, make lighthearted of it. You will see a lot comes out, and you can also study his body language, and you can kind of see, that he's got to be more comfortable with you. And I think that's the day that you can kind of put your foot down and say, that he's got to trust you more. At the same time, I am going to say something here. I don't know if you've realized it, but you can solve a lot of his issues. Unfortunately, he doesn't let you in areas that he should, because this reading is explaining also that if he told you a lot more about what his issues are with work and a lot of things he battles, you would have the answer. Maybe it would intimidate him, but he doesn't really give you that green light. There's a lot you can offer him, to be his compartment. You would be a hell of a wife, and he needs to see that. You're not just the pretty girlfriend, or soon to be, or whatever. Anyway, let's get back to that. I just wanted to shed light on that because I like the way that you are very careful with the connection with him. I think it's needing to be that. I think if you would have handled this relationship up to now in a different way, like let's say when you did the Leo, it would have burned the bridge. So I am glad that you've kind of walked on eggshells. It's important. You've gotten your, what you needed to. But at the same time, I think the sacrifice, the price to pay for that has been, you know, that you are on pause, you know, because there's a lot you want to say out loud and shine and give opinions, and you can help, you can work with him together as a team, as a unit, as a couple. And he's shut you out of a lot of things. And by allowing it, which you haven't had a choice up to now, but by allowing it, I think it programs him to keep thinking that you're on the shelf, and you're not. You actually have a great deal to offer him, and he doesn't have to be the smart, intelligent, intellectual one all the time. Okay, so he's hogging that limelight. So that being said, let me see something here. He is in love with you. I'm going to say that honestly with you. Is it the best behavior he can show a woman? No, it is not. Has he done the things for you he did for the ex? No. Comparatively, there's a lot of things he's shitting on when it comes to his checklist of what he should be doing for you. However, I will say, honestly, he is in love with you. It is real, and he does feel it. It's just that he's got to really step up to plate on the role he's supposed to be playing with you. You know, I don't mean playing, but like, you know, he's supposed to step up to his real role with you. And this kind of limbo has to stop. So I see what you're saying on taking things to the next level, which should escalate on their own. Let me see. So something I'm going to warn you about, okay? This is a warning. This is not an option. If you want to continue with him, you need to, and this is for Cassie only, not anyone else. Only for Cassie. This is her reading. Breaking the silence and trying to reach out to him before he reaches out to you is detrimental. I'll say it again. My warning is you should not reach out to him through text or a message or a letter or any form of communication whatsoever until he does it to you. At this point, he's reached a certain phase where his alone time and his withdrawal is becoming very critical. Okay? Yeah. Right. That you are correct in having that concern. I'm going to look into that also. How much time do we have? Oh, okay. We went over time. That's okay. I'll zip it up and go where we need to go. Okay. But just one thing. Reaching out to him before he reaches out to you, I do not recommend. It can jeopardize the connection because of where his mind frame is at this time. Him being a Gemini and you being a Virgo sun, Mercury is going to be going direct. And there's a lot of things, without boring you with any astrology or anything like that. I know you're worried you don't have the headspace for any of that, but I am going to tell you there's a critical, pivotal moment right now where you want to express and discuss, and he does not. So this is critical. I suggest you let him reach out to you. Okay? Now, I also suggest that when the ice is broken and you communicate again, you keep it lighthearted. Very funny, very something else, to not draw attention to the real situation. There will be time for that. All right, 1 second. Okay, he's going to reach out to you soon. I suggest that if you left, if you left a bag at his place, or makeup, or clothes, or something, don't go get it. Okay, give me 1 second, Cassie, because you're asking something more complex. I'm dealing with a critical point right now. I'm not shutting down your thought. It's very valuable, and I will address it. I understand its validity, but I'm explaining to you something so that you don't mess up this connection. Right now, let's deal with the hot zone, okay? Let's go exactly where we need to go so that you stay all right. So, number one, don't reach out. He has to be the one that breaks the silence, okay? He's going to reach out to you very soon. And when he does, I suggest you keep, oh no, don't be sorry. No, not at all. I suggest that you keep it friendly, flirty, happy, no drama, no stress. And don't go into topics that you want to push the agenda. You have every right to want to push that, but you're dealing with someone who does not want to deal with it. So you have no choice at this time. Your silence, if you could embrace your progressed Libra, if that's where you're at. I don't know. I think you had some Libra progression. Check your moon. I don't know where you're at, but if you could embrace Libra-ness, this would be perfect for you right now, because Libras don't rock the boat. If a person is talking about making brownies, they'll talk about making brownies. If a person talking about a vacation they had, they'll jump right in and just talk about that. They won't rock the boat. They're very careful. They're very vigilant. Okay. So, whereas Virgos have to express what they're thinking about. So Virgos have to express what they're thinking about right away, because it's like, come on, we have something to do. Let's do this. They're very like, let's go. And the Gemini may or may not want to, and then that's when they're a very complicated sign, okay? So you both understand each other very well, which is very important. I'm just trying to avoid you hurting by him breaking up or having a silent period again. I'm trying to avoid that for you, okay? So that's why, FYI, I'm just trying to tell you, let him reach out, and when he does, which will be very soon, lighthearted, very lighthearted. Okay, you have your Mercury in Libra, okay. But you gotta remember the house, honey, because if not, you don't know the full message on it. A lot of I know that in pop astrology you just say the sign and the planet, but you have to mention the house. That's the key. That's the key. It's all three. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second here. Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta go get that. Hang on a minute. My runes fell everywhere. Okay, gotta move the table. Move it all around. There we go. Okay. So I do see that you are going to be his girlfriend. I do see that you will accomplish being his girlfriend, but it is contingent upon, because he's in love with you, and I do see that you're going to be his girlfriend. I do see that you're going to get to a closer level with him. But you got to realize that that's the future, and right now in the present is a critical time. Now, one moment. Okay. So the advice in the spiritual consultation, okay, the advice in this situation is if you continue to be very lighthearted, let him mention something, make a face or a gesture or something where he says, what are you thinking about? And you say, no, never mind. No, tell me. It's okay. And then when he insists, then you say a little piece of it. I just don't want stress or something like that. When, you know, when you're on a good phase together, that's when you can insert little things. And it has to be very, you can't just let your emotions, you know, unleash everything like you want to and take over your tongue. That's where you can embrace the Mercury in Libra. So the way that you think and speak, you have to, Mercury in Libra, there's a way to really dissect that personally, but on the fly, Mercury in Libra is really the art of balancing thought and words and expression when you think and when you are ready to express yourself. So that means that that helps you a great deal to have a Mercury in Libra, because it means that you are very, you can be very silent until you're able to say the right words. But at the same time, I have to kind of analyze how that Mercury in Libra is set, because you can also have a critical edge that can conflict your sun, and you can say things that hurt you. You can say, you know, at the same time, it can be like a double-edged sword. But if you can embrace that in your speaking and thinking the way that, you know, what you think you say, you can help yourself out in that way. Saying the wrong thing can be misunderstood. Also, Mercury in Libra is misunderstood very much, and they attract suspicion, by the way. So that's the negative side to that, okay? But it is very positive when you are active in writing or defending or doing something like that. It's very good for law, okay? Very good for medicine, very good for analytical things, okay? All right. Okay. I do see that you are a candidate for some magic to soften this situation, get him back to being gooey. That's what's possible here. Remember that magic in this particular case, we're speaking specifically now, magic is here to help you cushion and turn things and, you know, change things up, sweeten it up. I do agree with you. I don't see it's a very complicated thing. I do see that it's a small thing. But it's not going to speak for you, and it's not going to, you know, substitute your behavior. You know, you have to kind of work with it, right? Understood? So you have to kind of play the role that he needs you to in order for him to be comfortable. He's pulling back and you want him to pull back in. That's not hard to accomplish. It's just that when he does, you gotta be very wise on your game plan of what you say to him, because you can either make it or break it. So think of the interview. You are the perfect candidate. You're the one they want for the job, and how you present those few moments and what you say, despite how you're dressed and despite your resume, it's what you say, it's that moment. And that's what I have to, you know, that's the only analogy. It kind of sucks. Love is important. It doesn't compare to money, but as the only analogy I can give you. Correct. So step number 1 is don't reach out. Step number 2 is when he does, be very lighthearted, funny, delightful, where he misses you. Like, I love the vibe. He's got to love the vibe. Okay. Step number 3. Okay. Step number 3. If you want to go about it magically, it's not too complicated. This is going to cushion the situation so that he misses you more and he flirts and comes up to you. You're going to find his softer side. So it's going to kind of melt all the hard edges. Step number 5, 6, 7, depending on the way that flows, you will get to a point where, and this can happen within 5 days, 3 days, 4 days, 7, 14 days, we'll see. But this is not long stuff. This is just for now. This cushiony, loving, gonna kind of thing, you're gonna roll into him kind of changing gear and going more towards, the connection, and then you can get back to a balance to get back to what you want. But once you start building again, you need to be aware of the next step. I do see you being his girlfriend. It's just that, like I said, some things are 100% etched in stone and some things are in your favor, but you can jeopardize them. Whereas some things are just going to happen no matter what. This is happening, but this is one of those things where you also have to help yourself get to this. But the odds are in your favor, not against you. All right. And I did explain the part about I would like you to, think about how you're going to address trust and those things as well later, not now. It would be distasteful to mention those things at this time. But it's something that, later on you can, besides, the more he grows towards you and the more you, when you finally commit, or he does, want you to, you're not going to have this other issue just like that. He does not want anyone that acts to him like the ex, where there's a foot down and a reprimand, which is harder for you. All right. But it is doable. All right. So anyway, I realize you want to get back to where you were and grow from there so that you can end up moving in and committed. I understand that. That is the goal. However, it kind of took a turn, all right? And now we're trying to straighten it up again. And so what, yeah, like I said, the magic is not complicated, and what it's going to do is sweeten it. And I'll look into it and tell you more through email because I don't know the technical side of it, but we can talk, we just talked about what it would do. Okay, and I agree with you, it's not complicated at all. Now, that being said, let me check on some more relationship things, okay? Okay. You are, how should I say? You are capable today, at this time, today, tomorrow, the day after that, in this time, you are capable of finding out who his lover is. Okay? It's right under your nose. So I suggest you put on your detective hat instead of your, I would do it, but we don't have the time. And it's something you can figure out for yourself. I suggest you become very aware and do not confront him at this time. I suggest you do your homework. I doubt that you're clueless about that. A Pisces moon like you, I doubt highly that this is first news. You've had either dreams or a weird feeling or something. You cannot tell me that you are clueless and you have no idea and you never even thought about it. I won't believe you. There's something that's been brewing that has caused you, maybe you've dismissed it. Sometimes people can kind of squash their intuition. But this is important. But it's also an obstacle that you can overcome, in this situation. All right? So think another rune fell. Let me get it. I fell behind my chair. Give me 1 second. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay. Okay, so topics like pregnancy and children are kind of stressing you out, or at least was, or something like that, because it's coming in as a buffer. It's hard to explain. You know, like when I look at relationship worries and stress. Okay, let's see. There's a warning coming in for you before this reading is out. You can be stolen from. Money. Not, you know, this is important. This is a person, you know, that can take advantage. Do you have anything pending where, you know, a person can try to take more of what, you know, something that you own or have, or this is a theft warning. It's at your job. Okay, Cassie? It's at your job. So you have to be aware of that. So sometimes it's a pocketbook, sometimes it's an identity, and sometimes it's something that you have at your disposal, at your leisure, that someone can take advantage. So I want you to think about something for a minute. Sometimes I make this joke online that I say Virgos don't understand me. I don't have anything against Virgos. In fact, you know, I'm a progressed Virgo. So like, you know, it's like, and the apple of my eye, my grandma, she was a Virgo. So I have nothing against them. I love Virgos. But I am misunderstood because they take me like hypothetically when I'm very literal. And sometimes when I'm saying something that should be taken at grand scale, they will precisely dissect it and then misunderstand what I'm saying to you. let's go back a minute to something very distasteful. You came in for a stream reading a long time ago, and I hope this never happens to you again. And I warned you of your safety with the Leo. And I said, it's a warning, it's a health warning. And I said, oh my God, this is big. Be careful, be careful. I don't know how you can be hurt, but be careful. And then I didn't like to hear that you had a collapsed lung on and you went to the ER. That was crazy. That was crazy. And why, would you get in the car with that idiot? Okay, mistakes happen. You didn't know. I understand. I don't want me to warn you about something and then you understand it differently or you take it differently, because that's not my goal. My goal is to tell you something and for you to use it to help you. Let's talk about this a minute. This reading has mentioned many times that there is something very good coming for you financially. And then it talks about theft and it talks about your work. Could it be that something that is about to unfold for you can be jeopardized by an enemy? Sometimes you may not be aware of an opportunity coming to you. Maybe the department is changing. Maybe there's a room for growth. Maybe you filled out for something ages ago. Maybe somebody recommended you. I don't know what it is, but there is significant growth and opportunity for you at this time, and it's going to come into flourish. Remember that sometimes when I give a reading, the frustrating part is the person thinks that everything I say is in the next couple of days. The more experience you have with psychic ability, the longer. Come on, you know that. I've given you stuff that turns out a year later. You got to realize that this is for you. I already told you that your destiny and your career, I know this is not a career reading. I know that. I know it's about love, and we're going to get to that again. But this is, I can't help but what's coming up. And your destiny is to kick ass in your field. You will have financial comforts. You're a person that's going to be very financially lucky the older you get. All right, even though you've gone through some tough times, this is not the story, sweetheart. You have a massive luck when it comes to success and money in your field, like a house and everything, like you name it. Yeah, you let it go. I know. Remember that there was something that you lost some things because of bad decisions, but you're not going to end up that way. You're very lucky in your future, and there is something really good coming to you for your work. And then you have a theft warning. Please be aware of your enemies. Please, I know you're very into your relationship, and being a Pisces moon, you could kind of tune into just one thing, and then that just sucks up all your energy and you're not really in tune too much over here. But the reading is saying, hello, come over here. That other woman's right under your nose. Enemies are under your nose. Something is coming for you and you don't realize it. That's positive, wonderful, money, good opportunity. And then a warning, it can be jeopardized. Don't let him steal it either. In fact, I think you have a pattern where I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's been so long, but where you've let the love arena of your life dictate your pocket. And don't let anything steal your success and your shine, honey. Okay, please, because it is coming for you. All right, and write it down, make a note. Be aware of when I'm saying this reading. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow or a week later. It's coming, and I need you to be aware of these things, because this is a solution to your stress. The problems that you're having, financially. At the same time, you're not going to be his bank either. But let's go back. I digress. Let's go back to your concern. Okay, 1 second. Okay, the lady that was the blonde one that went to Italy, I don't know her name. You don't even have to. I'd rather not say her name because the doxing and all of that. But the lady that was your friend, she's coming up in the reading, okay? Are you aware of anything maniacal with her? Anything that could be brewing? I thought you guys made up, at least fakely. she's coming in as a cynical energy. Anything going on with her? Is that my stomach? Sorry. It sounds like a monster. So she's not Cassie, is your connection okay, sweetheart? Let me see if she wants to, maybe she had to sign out. Okay, maybe she had to sign back in. Anyway, they are showing up. There's something that's not the connection to the theft warning. That's separate, but it's coming in to let you know. Okay, I got the warning of that lady, if you want me to tell you. Are you there, Cassie? Let me text you a minute. Maybe you got disconnected. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, wait, did I lose you this time? Wait, Cassie, are you there? Oh no, I thought that was her. Okay, let me text her a minute, because hang on. Cassie, you there? I sent you a text. Anyway, the warning has to do with the blonde lady speaking very negatively about to the Gemini. So please be aware of that. Please, please, please. Hopefully, when you guys reconnected again, you didn't, you didn't allow, kind of like, remember when you were gonna like patch things up to kind of allow that, What happened, Cassie? You got disconnected? Okay. So so there's two things. So there's a theft warning, and then that's separate than the warning from the blonde lady. Okay. Hopefully you did a lot of repair work with him, and you were able to like not, put your foot down so that never again does he trust those people over you. But she's coming in as a warning that she's going to be speaking badly about you to him. That's crazy. We don't want this to be a cycle, a vicious cycle. Are you aware of anything that has happened negatively between you and her that would spite this vindictive conversation? Is there anything happening where he's going to be going over to their house? Is there anything like that you're aware of? What? I think you're writing me something out of sequence. I think there's a delay, and what you're answering me is something that I said a few minutes ago. Oh, okay, him and her. Okay. So you have to be very careful with that. This is where the protection thing can come in. Okay, I'll see what can be done to avoid that, because that part is very time sensitive. So again, you being in a relationship with him, the work benefit that's coming into your life, the the opportunities, all of those things are, the future unfolding. But when it comes to critical things, see the timing. You got to look at the timing. Some of the things I'm saying will unfold later in the year, and some of them are like right now. okay, right now. So it's a critical timing with the answering him and you know, waiting for him to reach out. The silent period, there's a critical time sensitivity to finding out about the woman that ran under your nose, kind of thing. That's time sensitive. Another thing that's time sensitive is avoiding the blonde lady to kind of like start with her stupidity again and her gossip and her crap, okay? Which can do damage, unfortunately, okay? So those things are very critical. Other than that, and of course the you know, him reaching out and then you try, you know, the magic insert to that has to be done quickly because you want to be ready to have that door cushion again and open and warm up so that you can start back up again where you were, and this time take it to a different place, which hopefully would be you and him moving in. So that being said, the longer term parts would be the financial gain, and then the theft threat and all of that. You have to be aware of that. There's going to be some career things going on with you. Let's see. Okay, so the reading closes. The reading closes with everything that you need to know. So for you to get to the stage or the phase or the steps where you and him are back on, you know, the place where you're in a good place together, and everything like that, you have to go through the silent period first. And then it's contingent upon, are you going to do this organic? Are you going to do this with magic? Magic is just going to soften things and have him miss you and then open up an opportunity for, I'll explain more what it's going to do. If you decide to go the natural route without magic, then it's going to be a little harder in this case, but you can do it. You just have to be very patient. And again, your words have to be, you got to wait on him, whereas magic is going to push it faster. The other way around, you have to wait, but you know, you're good at playing the waiting game as long as you can talk to him and everything like that. So it might be slower. Other than that, just be aware of your enemies, be aware of the silent period. Is a short time. The magic will come in to help and cushion your you know, people wedging more problems, like the blonde lady. You were warned in the reading it can cause more of a problem for you, so it would take care of that. It would take care of him being more silent and withdrawing more, and then falling deeper into sleeping with the other woman. It's not a fidelity thing. That's something he's chosen to do. But yeah, and now the theft warning is separate. The theft warning has to do with your success at your job and something with your work. But it's something that you're going to pick up on it naturally. Let's not confuse things. The thing with your business and your you know, the success that's coming to you, and then the theft threat at your job, it's something that once you're aware of it, there's nothing for you to do about it, just to be aware of it. Because notice, I'm not saying, oh, you got to do this spell for this to happen. No, it's happening for you. It's your destiny. You're going to be successful. There's money coming to you. There's an opportunity. And you have to wait for that. It's going to be this year. Okay? How long? Maybe I don't have a timing for it. The theft thing, you have to be aware. I think that once you tune into that, your detective meter will go off and you will start being more in tune because you've been out of tune. You're also going to be more aware of your enemies. The warning is coming in with your relationship. The relationship is, don't reach out to him. He needs his time away. How long is he going to be away? Short time. He's going to break the ice with you soon, very soon, and it's going to be positive. He's going to reach out to you. What's the magic going to do that you wanted? Okay, I didn't suggest it, you wanted it, but I agree with you. Looking into it, it wouldn't be a bad idea. What would it do? It's going to soften and sweeten the situation so that you work less hard. but you still have to put in your A game because, you're an Aries rising. You're going to go for what you want. It's going to lessen his withdrawal. It's going to amplify his yearning to be with you, which is just an open door. It's just, you're either going to cause that open door by your words and your energy, or you're going to cause that open door with magic, but then you still have to deliver your A game. You still have to walk the talk, and you still have to not aggravate him, not talk about I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying he's such a fucking snowflake, It's like, oh my God, you say something and he just has to hide. So we're preventing that, right? Until he gets to a more confident stage. But there is a storm coming, most definitely. This storm, I'm glad you got the reading today, because this is shedding light on the fact that if you don't follow your kind of intuitively what you feel you need to do so that you don't mess it up with him, what is the ugly side to if you break the ice soon and you reach out to him, or you seem clingy, or you bother him with something, or you mention something that bothers him, or you ask the wrong questions at the wrong time and he puts his wall up? What is the danger of that? The danger of that, what we're trying to prevent, is breaking up with you, telling you he wants some time alone, to not contact him again. This time he'll do it differently because he doesn't want you to drive up to him. And then you're out cold, you have no idea what's going on with him, and he's sleeping with someone else. You don't want that path. Well, actually, let's go further. I think that you should just focus on the next love situation and forget about him and go towards someone that really deserves you. But that's besides the point. Dealing with the focus of him, because that's the one you love, the way to do it is, like I said, there are certain things. We address those things. Magic will cushion it, but ultimately you can't sit there and mention things that are going to aggravate him. Magic is going to lessen the stress and sweeten things up so that you have that opportunity. But you have to also work with it. You can't just, hey, you're a jerk. Why do you ignore me? Oh, I don't want to deal with this. Goodbye. You can't do that either, right? You want to just draw him towards you because he's withdrawing. So you want to counteract that emotionally. Now, what is going to make him come to his clarity on his own and decide that he needs, to focus on you? Well, regardless, we have to also focus on the fact that we did mention, the reading mentioned magical things as well. Okay? So you also have to address, there's certain things that have pushed him, and we talked about that. So anyway, good reading, really intense. I hope you got clarity. Will he come to his senses naturally and be where you want him to be again? Yes, after the storm. He's going to reach out to you, and he may or may not say something difficult. If you want to handle it naturally, be aware that if there's going to be a lot of good mood things at first, and then he may say to you something harsh. And when he says something harsh, you can't react in a certain way. That's the critical part. If you're going to go non-magic, you have to be right on cue with what you have to say so that you make it lighthearted. This man is afraid of confrontation. This man wants to avoid fights. He wants to avoid arguments. He wants to avoid being pushed into something he doesn't like. He's afraid to be financially responsible for things he doesn't want to be. He's afraid of making something permanent and giving up his secret self. He likes to withdraw and all of that. He is afraid of those things. Those things threaten him. He's a bachelor mentality. He's got the Peter Pan syndrome. Bottom line. And you are wife of the year. And you are trying to be that for him, and he's scared shitless because he has to give up his bachelor ways, which is what was his cushion when he drastically had his life upside down when his wife left him. Okay, so you have to kind of walk the talk and kind of be in line with what is needed for him to, you know, realize, okay, my guard is down. I'm not so scared. Okay, she's not spooking me. She's doing this in the way that's comfortable for me. Do it the wrong way, and kaboom. Then you have you derail from the path that you have set forward. And I don't want you to derail from it. Now, I wish you would just not care about him and just go for a winner. However, being that this is your plan, you are able to accomplish it. You are able to be his girlfriend. Just don't derail from what you should be doing. Now, you know, that being said, the reading is also about you and your life, not just your love life. And the reading is explaining that you can't put your life on hold for this man. You are going to accomplish what you want, but don't let this sacrifice the blossoming you're going to be doing. Oh, what the hell? What do you mean blossoming? I don't care anymore. I'm not trying to go for something fancy. It's coming for you. Oh, I don't know. I'm not into that right now in my life, Lucy. I focused on my career a long time ago. I'll do it in the future. I don't care right now. I just want to just do my job. Okay, but there's opportunities whether you like it or not. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. It's not what you want. It's also what's there. So this is a time in your life where you kind of have to start looking at things that you haven't been wanting to look at because of fear or stress or terrorized or freaked out, your own fears. You got to look at stuff. It's time to grow. It's time to blossom. And there's a lot of shit under your nose you don't want to see with him as well. You got to look at it. I'm not saying you're going to fail. You know, you're going to be his girlfriend if you step up to it. Yeah, and I don't like the way that he treats you. I don't like the withdrawing. If that's emotional abandonment, I don't like that shit. It bothers me, but you know, whatever. You have patience and you love him and he is in love with you. Hopefully you come in here real soon telling me that you guys seal the deal. That's what I want to hear. But yeah, you know, you gotta stick to it. So you are traumatized, and I say that in a lighthearted way. You are traumatized by the past of what he put you through. You are traumatized that you put your heart and soul and he could just completely cut you off and you have no way of talking to him. Don't let that happen. It's the ball's in your court this time. Last time it wasn't. And that bitch, that blonde lady, it's coming in as a warning. Be very careful what you say and what she sees. Okay? All right. I will just email me if you want me to give you a quote for that, and I'll go over technicality on it. Shouldn't be too complicated, okay? Let me know if you want to go that route. It is approved. All right, either way. All right, honey? Thank you, Cassie. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, and I'll send you an email with that tomorrow. I have to ask a couple of technical things, and I will send that to you, okay? All right, sweetheart. Have a good one. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.